What's up, fellow duelists? Y.G.O-LYFE here, bringing you my TG deck. Finally got my TG deck together. Really, I'm still running through types of spells. It's kind of really tight space right now with the monster count, but honestly, and all, this is a really fun synchro deck for all the you synchro players out there. This is one of them good ones, especially if you like the guy Bruno from the 5Ds area. But his deck is very fun to play. Only thing I would say about this deck, I do not have Reborn Tengus. I would wish I had some Reborn Tengu for this deck that make this deck way more fun, way more competitive with synchro plays and combos, because it's like it works like plant synchro in a way, and you know they hit Liberian to 1. Really, this deck, if this deck had Liberian at least at 2, it'd be good. But go ahead and get into the main deck. Screw Serpent, because it just allows you to extend with the TG monsters in your hand and the ones in graveyard, so when you make the link summon, you can just summon him from the deck off the launcher and then chain his effect, because all the other monsters come out simultaneously with launcher, but when you summon him, you get to summon one from graveyard, so the one you use for link, you get it back, and then when it's in graveyard, you just help with changing the levels of your monsters. Honestly, Rhino just been the old nostalgic favorite. He's just a good, you don't have them good hands, you can just really set up, and if your opponent summon anything bigger, you just use the trap card, the EMI, just the switch. So he's just good all around, just big, and when he swing, he gains 400 attack. We have 3 TG Werewolf, because even if your opponent go first, you can just summon it from hand. So you have that. Your opponent basically on Nibiru summon a token. Well, the token's not level 4, but you could just summon it off a lot of things. Your opponent summons, or even on first turn, you just put in defense, like just get them out on the field. Player attack choice, just to also help out with TGs in hand. Catapult Dragon, basic self-explanatory. Summon this, and then you can special summon a level 3 or lower TG monster from your hand. TG Metal Skeleton, because it just protect if a monster on the field destroyed by battle or opponent card effect, you can special summon this card from your hand. So it's the other side of Werewolf, basically. 2 Booster Raptor. I feel like this card is really good. Say if you could incorporate a little dinosaur engine, TG dinosaurs, this card makes it so much easier for you to do something like that. And it's just it's a good non-tuner that if you control a TG monster, you can just special summon it. So like this easy way to go synchro for level 2. I do not run formula synchron in this, because TG have their own level 2, and we'll get to that later in the extra deck. But basically special summon this, and then it has the floating effect to add a TG if it gets destroyed. So you can basically set up a whole TG defense without even synchro summoning. 2 Drillfish. 2 Drillfish because it's just very good. You get just pop cards, and it allows you to attack directly for 100. So if they don't see it come, you attack 100, they take the 100 and you like pop, then be like, so it's just removal, easy removal for you. On to the tuners. Level 2, I play 3 TG Striker just because it's TG Striker nostalgic, old school TG monster. I just love this. Actually, would be one of my favorite TGs monster because it's a warrior and it's Earth. So you have that, and it's a floater also for TG, so it searched during the end phase. I'm iffy about this card. I break on it a lot. I don't play a lore in here. But with this guy, it's just for the Rhino. You have a Rhino, decrease the attack, and then you synchro, or you go Crystron Hyper Fiber Axe. But two TG gear, gear zombie, 2 TG tank grub. Really, honestly, you could play 3 of this. It can treat itself as a non-tuner if you synchro summon with the it's just all around good. You could play 3 with the dinosaur TG. Basically you just easily sync for 2 with this, and then you get a token, and then the synchro allows you to bring back this and then sync again with the token. So with Librarian, it has synergy. Honestly, you can really play 3 of this card, but it's not player preference basically. And then one TG Cyber Magician, just because of Crystron Hyperfax and launcher that allows you to get it out, gets it out from the deck, so no worries on it. And it just affect the synchro with a TG in hand. Free synchro for days with that. That's it for the monster lineup. On to the spells. Starting off 2 Pot of Avarice, because if anything happens, you want to put your resource back. Nibiru really is a thing in this deck, and basically by the time you go launcher, you're open to Nibiru most of the time, because your hand is that good. But you're also drawing off a Librarian also if you make the Librarian first. So you have the Pot of Avarice. Like, seeing a Pot of Avarice in all TG monsters in opening hand, that is actually what you want to see. Just for spell and trap card removal, 2 Cosmic Cyclones. You have your Fish Drill, so you can use your TG Fish Drill to do that. Easy way to get the Fish Drill out, just 1-for-1, or the Raptor, or just the tuner, Cyber Magician. There's just many ways you can get it out. Get level 1s out from the deck. 1-for-1. I mean, excuse me, Monster Reborn, because it's at 1 and it's just get a synchro back. You got reinforcing the army because you have warriors in here. One Fossil Dig to search the dino. I feel like it's very balanced. Miscellaneous did get hit on the recent ban list, so I was always iffy about playing miscellaneous in here for the dino, but it's all good. It works out really. One Mind Control, because it is the synchro deck, and using your opponent monster to link with taking their link monster is free. Traps, we have 3 TG1, just to switch monsters with your opponent. It does target, and also you can play Sonic Stun, because it's negate your opponent attack and special summon a TG monster or level 4 or lower tuner monster from your hand or deck. So like I said, This is just for defensive, help you put up a wall to stall for a turn and then just come back on your opponent. Really, when you ACCEL Synchro, you basically have these big monsters in this deck that when you ACCEL Synchro, and finally you can ACCEL Synchro in TG's, the original deck that you supposed to ACCEL Synchro in. And it's just fun playing this deck all around. Like, alright, into the extra deck. Extra deck is really tight for me. I don't play Crystalline Hyperfax in this deck. I got good enough to not even play it, really. Just playing it, that's what it is. But I play 2 TG Trident launchers because it's the whole heart and soul of this deck right now. And this build is basically you go this and then you make your big synchro guy. So you also have the way they can't target it, your TG monster that points to, and then also with card effects, and playing these to just basically negate on your opponent. Just put up negates. A lot of times I see myself putting synchros back into the extra deck to use again. Yes, the 1 librarian, because it's at 1, and then play this because librarian is at 1, just at 1 power. It's a non-tuner synchro monster, so it helps out. Two TG Star Guardians because he has all the synergy in the deck. It helps you extend. You make the launcher, then you go librarian, you go him, and then you're ready to make any one of these. Depending on if you have any traps or don't have any, you didn't get any traps with librarian draws. Honestly, this should be taken out. I'm still waiting to pick up a Shooting Star TG Dragon for this deck, and that will be basically complete the deck. But once you get have one of those, you're just swapping this out for the TG Shooting Dragon. And then for the level 2s, because I said about the level 1s tuners and the Raptor TG Raptor, that you get to summon this, and then since the materials in the graveyard, you get to send this to the graveyard and then make another one, and then you just spamming tokens right quick, so the TG tokens help. But thanks guys for tuning in. If you are tuning into this deck profile with TGs, honestly this deck is really fun to try, and I believe that if you experiment with TGs, you can already see all the combos you can do with this, same with the extra deck. But this is Y.G.O-LYFE signing out.